What a girl, what a world, what a life. Oh, I married Joan. What a mind, love is blind, what a wife. Giddy and gay, all day she keeps my heart laughing. Never know where her brain has gone. To each his own, can't deny that's why I married Joan.
The Joan Davis Show. I Married Joan. America's favorite comedy show. Starring America's queen of comedy, Joan Davis, as Mrs. Joan Stevens. And featuring Jim Backus as Judge Bradley Stevens.
I married Joan.
Oh my gosh. 3:30 in the morning and they're still at it next door. Joni, I'm gonna call them up and complain. This is...
Honey, we've been complaining for 6 years now, and you know it never does any good.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, what'll we do? Stay up all night as usual?
Well, it's only 3 nights a week, dear. Saturday night's the big party. Tuesday night's the bridge game. Wednesday night, the poker game.
Only 3 nights a week. Well, what's the use? Can't go to sleep until the party's over next door and...
Wait a minute, dear. I don't hear anything now. Maybe it's over.
Yes, maybe you're right.
Good night.
Good night, love.
Oh. Of all the dirty tricks.
Joni, I give up. We may as well have a party of our own and at least enjoy being stay-ups.
A party? But I'm dead tired.
You're tired? I'm so tired I can barely walk. I'll be right back, honey.
I don't think this boy is well.
Soft lights, my dear. And music. And champagne.
Set my heart on fire.
Good vintage. Piper Holstein. Yesterday morning.
Piper Holstein, my favorite.
The thrill of your wonderful kiss.
I'm glad it wasn't flat. Good grapes.
Oh, champagne. I just love it. The bubbles tickle my nose.
And may I say, my dear, you've never looked more enchanting and ravishing.
Oh, thank you, my sweets. May I propose a toast?
Do.
Here's to our love. It could be inspired if we weren't so tired.
Ah, my darling. Would you care to dance?
No, thanks. I'd rather lie this one out.
But darling, they're playing our song.
Our song.
Yes, my precious one, come and dance with me.
Hello? Who? What? Well, how do you like that?
Who was that?
The Carstairs next door. They said they're trying to get to sleep now, and would we please stop making such a racket? Would we just a little more?
Every night.
Brad! Oh, Brad, wait till you hear the news?
Well?
Well, I went next door to the car stairs to complain. And guess what?
What?
They're moving.
Moving?
Yes. They feel it's too noisy a neighborhood. They're moving. They're moving. Yep, they put the house up for sale, and as soon as it's sold, we're going to be having new neighbors, darling. Isn't that wonderful? Just think, no more staying awake every Saturday, Wednesday, and Tuesday night. Oh, they're moving. Goodbye forever. Goodbye forever. Goodbye.
Joan.
Goodbye.
Joan.
Goodbye.
Joan.
Hello?
Well, how do you know what the new neighbors will be like?
Oh, that's right. Gee, they might even be worse, huh? And after 6 years with the Carstairs, we deserve something better. Brad,
Yeah?
there's only one thing to do.
What?
I'm going into the real estate business.
The real estate business? Joey, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm going to find a buyer for the Carstairs house. That way, we'll know what kind of neighbors we're getting. 3 nights a week. And that's the situation. You can see how serious it is. You've just got to help me find a buyer for the Carstairs house.
Well, we'll be glad to help you, Joan.
Sure we will.
Oh,
Do
we'd
anything
love
we
to.
can.
But just what kind of neighbors do you want?
I don't care, as long as they're quiet. I was thinking possibly of a GI, a veteran.
A veteran?
Yeah, of the Civil War. That'd make them pretty quiet.
I hear Miriam Walters is looking for a house.
Miriam Walters, I don't believe I know her.
A ghastly woman.
Is she quiet?
And her husband is such a bore.
Is he quiet?
They're a horrible couple.
Are they quiet?
No, let's forget about the Walters.
Wouldn't
Wouldn't want to live next door to them. In the first place, she's an awful...
Oh, girls, just a minute, please. I know the very people. You girls all know Agatha Murdoch, don't you?
Is she quiet?
And her husband, Drexel Murdoch.
Is he quiet?
They're a wonderful couple.
Are they quiet?
They have a chauffeur
Is he quiet?
and a big black limousine.
Is it quiet?
Oh, they're just what you want. They're a quiet, elderly couple. And I happen to know that Agatha is looking for a smaller house now that her children are all married. Now, girls, let's get on with
I
the
just
meeting,
can't
because there's
thank
so
you
many things.
enough, Clara. Really,
That's fine. Now, there's many things to take up today.
Hey, you'll
and I
never
want
know
you
what
to know
this
that-
means to me.
Yes, we'll just quiet. Now,
Brad,
you know that
now for
important
6
thing that we were
years,
talking
all
about
we want
the
is
other
just a
day.
little
Yes,
quiet.
quiet.
Quiet?
Yes.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yes.
Quiet, isn't it?
That's a pleasure.
Well, Brad, admit that you're married to a real little genius.
Well...
Go on, admit it, Eddie.
Well, all right, I'm married to a real little genius.
You're darn right. Here the Carstairs put their house up for sale hardly more than a week ago. And our new neighbors, the Murdochs, have already bought the house and moved in.
Look, Johnny, I'm tired. We had...
And are they just ordinary neighbors? No, they're hand-picked neighbors. Yes, sirree. Hand-picked by that neighbor-picking expert, Joni Stevens. Yes, folks. I've been hand-picking neighbors now for nigh on to 20 years. And I can truthfully say that the Murdochs are just naturally milder, quieter neighbors. Folks, if you'll notice, their lights are already out, proving that the Murdochs are at least 30% older, quieter, and tireder neighbors. Try a Murdoch today, won't you? And now, back to our feature film.
All right, Joni. You did a wonderful job, but let's take advantage of it and get some sleep, huh?
Okay, darling, but
Good night.
remember, when you're snoring your head off tonight, don't forget that you owe it all to me.
All to you. Good
Good night,
Albert.
What was that?
Dogs. Well, who keeps dogs so close by? Oh, my gosh. It's the Murdochs. They've got barking dogs. And dogs just don't make noise on Tuesday and Wednesday and Saturday nights. They can keep it up every night. I owe it all to you.
Yes? What is it? Do you remember me, Clara's friend, Joan Stevens, your next-door neighbor?
Well, picked a fine time to pay a social call.
Oh, no, this isn't a social call. It's about your dogs.
My dogs? What about my dogs?
Well, they're barking.
My dear Mrs. Stevens, that is the normal course of things. Canaries sing, cats meow, dogs bark, and good night.
Oh, just a minute. You don't understand.
What?
Well, my husband and I are trying to sleep. So could you please keep your dogs quiet?
Keep them quiet.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting that I repress my dogs? Inhibit them? Warp their personalities?
Well, my husband and I are trying to sleep.
Mrs. Stevens, I'm afraid you don't understand. These are show dogs with the finest breeding and bloodlines that go back hundreds and hundreds of years. Do you expect me to deny sensitive animals the right to self-expression? Of course you don't.
No, I guess not.
So you just run along, Mrs. Stevens? And I'll tell you what.
What?
I won't even tell them that you complained.
Oh, thank you. Good night, Mrs. Murdoch. Just a minute, Mrs. Shh.
Not so loud. These dogs are nervous and temperamental, remember? You'll upset them.
Oh, what about my husband? He's trying to sleep.
Mrs. Stevens, you have a most peculiar sense of values. Has your husband won 6 blue ribbons or a gold loving cup?
No.
Is your husband by Hannibal II out of Princess Moonbeam III?
I don't think so. At least he never mentioned it.
You see, Mrs. Stevens, we must prevent your husband from annoying my dogs.
Well, of course. Now, don't you worry, Mrs. Murdoch. I'll see to it that my husband doesn't bother them at all.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Murdoch. What happened here?
Oh, so sleepy and groggy in court today, I signed the wrong paper and sentenced myself to jail for 6 months.
I'm pretty sleepy myself. All night long, those dogs barking, barking, barking. Just like that, they kept barking. They're at it again.
Joan, remember what I said. Call the police. Can't, hate to do this. And men has to. Sleep. Joan, maybe you'd better speak to the police. As a judge, I don't want it to appear as though I'm taking advantage of my office.
All right, dear.
But remember, we're not going through another night like the last one. Now, be very firm.
Oh, I will. I'll be a regular old... Hello?
4th Street Station, Kilpatrick speaking.
Hello, this is Mrs. Stevens at 133 Stone Drive. I'd like to complain about some dogs residing at 135 Stone Drive. They bark all night long and keep us awake.
Well, madam, we don't like to send men out unless the dogs are actually disturbing the peace. Are they barking right now?
Are they barking? Well, of course they're barking right now. Listen to this, officer. Did you hear that?
No, I can't say I did.
Just a minute. How about now?
No.
You can't hear him, Brad. Listen, I know what to do. This phone's got a long cord. I'll take it out in the backyard. Then that officer can really hear him.
That's a good idea, dear.
One moment, please.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
One moment now, officer, and you'll hear the loudest barking you ever heard. Come here. Come here, fellas. Come here. Come on. Come on. Okay, boys, sound your ray. One at a time or both.
We'll stick the phone in their faces. Maybe that'll make them bark.
Yes. Oh, he thinks it's a licorice bone. Come here, boys.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello? They'll be barking in a moment now, officer. Please, bark, huh? Please. You can even growl. That's all right. Go ahead. Do something. Will you, fellas? Do a little something. Say hello. Anything at all. Anything. Look, I'll bark at you, then you bark at me, right? Okay? Now bark at me. Come on, I'm barking.
Oh, so that's your game, is it? Barking yourself and trying to put the blame on some poor innocent dogs.
No, officer.
No more of your lies now. Go on to bed, lady, and sober up.
I gotta go back to bed and sober up, Brad. Isn't that the limit, Brad? Just when you want the dogs to bark, they won't bark.
No, that's animals, honey.
Well, at least now that it's quiet, maybe we can get some sleep tonight, huh?
Oh, boy, I sure need it.
Oh.
Joni, I'm home.
Oh, hello, dear.
Hello, darling.
Dinner's ready.
Oh, I'm too tired, dude. So exhausted I can't see straight. And tomorrow I have to render a verdict in the most important case that's ever come up before me.
Well, I just feel awful, Brad. I chose those neighbors.
Well, Johnny, I just simply have to get some sleep.
Well, you go right to bed, darling. I'll figure out some way to quiet those dogs.
Ah, dear.
No, dear. No, honey. The bedroom's over this way, dear. There.
Hello? Dr. Schaefer speaking.
Is this Dr. Schaefer, the veterinarian?
Yes?
Doctor, I wonder if you could answer a question for me. What makes dogs bark at night?
That's really quite simple, madam. Dogs are very much like babies. They bark at night for the same reason that a baby cries.
You mean you have to burp them or change them?
No. I mean, they want attention. They're lonesome. They want company, that's all.
Oh, yes, that's right. I remember when I was out with them last night, they stopped barking. In fact, I couldn't even get them to bark.
That proves my point exactly.
Well, thanks. I guess I know what I have to do. Thank you. Why don't you get undressed, dear? You'll be more comfortable.
Joni, aren't you going to sleep?
Well, I'm going over to Mabel's for a little while, dear. Don't wait up for me, dear. fellas. Which way to the dormitory? Oh, here it is. Well, nice little place you got here, huh, boys? What do you call it, early colonial? Now, listen, fellas. Listen, come here. Come out here. Come out here. I want to talk to you a minute. I came over here to spend the evening with you two so you wouldn't bark, see? Now, I don't want one peep out of you. No noise at all. Will you shake on that? Let's shake. Now, you promised me there'd be no barking. Now, shall we all go to bed like good doggies? All right. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let's all get in here now. Let's be... Excuse me, please. All right? Let's all get in. I tell you, you come out here. Here, come on out. I'll get in first. My, it sure is dusty in here. But I guess you weren't expecting company, huh? Well, let's all go to sleep now. Turn out the lights. Oh, I guess you got no electricity in here, huh? Let's all be good boys now and get a little shut-eye. Ow! Why don't you bury your bones like the rest of us? Oh, well, good night, dear. Well, thank you. You're very...
Good night, sweetheart. Come on, baby. There you are. Get your bite, please. Come on, Montgomery. I've got a nice tidbit for you, too.
Go get the bone, Montgomery. It's delicious.
Now, don't make me angry. Come get this bone at once.
Go get the bone, Montgomery.
Montgomery, don't make me come in after you. There. I really wasn't going to hurt you. You know how much I love you, Montgomery. And Montgomery, give me a little kiss. Come on. Nice baby. Good night, Montgomery.
Good night, Mrs. Murdoch.
Montgomery, what did you say? That's better. Good night.
Oh, you...
Good night. Oh, fine.
Good morning, Joan.
Oh, good morning, dear. You had a good night's sleep, didn't you?
Yeah, I slept fine, except those dogs didn't bark once, darn it.
What do you mean, darn it?
Well, you remember when you went over to Mabel's last night?
Oh, yes, Mabel.
Yeah, well, I phoned the police and swore on my word as a judge that those dogs would be barking last night. And they sent a man out here who spent the whole night in the backyard waiting for those dogs to bark. Now they'll never send a man out here again. I wonder why those dogs didn't bark last night.
Well, maybe they had company, dear. Maybe they had a babysitter.
Are you kidding? Who could be that stupid?
You never know, dear. Well, you never know.
Gay, all day she keeps my heart laughing, never know where her brain has gone. To each his own, can't deny that's why I married Joan. To each his own, can't deny that's why I married Joan.